Enjoy Barcelona game, I enjoy Manchester City game. I've enjoyed the rest of the games, and then me know about the bon komo na me wura game anymore. Na makanye me bi kakra e de achire about game no we just witnessed, because watching the Barcelona game, because Newcastle, honestly, grounds were a horse Hans Flick a catcher place, say the grounds now more kono and yet grounds so he won them even before the game. And so we will talk about that game, and of course we'll have a conversation about the Manchester City game. And then Helen brought Holland. He's the fastest player what hits 50 Champions League goals, and then or the 49 games, and the RHS or say go na or yes mark and say what hits and Napoli in Manchester City game, Deba Kwayeme Yapan say Kevin De Bruyne now he had to be taken off that early because of red card about game. Change break, we'll come back to that conversation, but I mean, we didn't come back to Barcelona, and when we said this is just usual, back to back, story. Here, Charlie Michelle need you more. When subscribe for me no cast and be kakra. Yaka say grounds be a hostile. A grounds be to say St. James, because sa grounds be no. On me ye did this and Newcastle for na case support to be our park one who nim now baba ye home gentle out, because a back quality 1v1 analysis of quality players are to basa no, but what they can do I'll make me Barcelona compete. The 12 man. The 12 man is the Newcastle supporters. So they need to be around. They need to be rooting for the supporters. Every single challenge, they need to do that with the supporters. And of course, supporters, yes, sir. Now, even in the English Premiership, Newcastle, Liverpool, City, Chelsea, Manchester United, the traditional 6 clubs in England. Now, you know what they normally do? I did Newcastle for BNSA. The first 15 minutes, master only Newcastle, but now one maintaining composure. Because on the press, one thing Newcastle does it so well, a more pressing game. In some more press, so that was the game plan before this game. Barcelona obey then now stop you. And now I watch Newcastle game, and honestly, we are into the game one. The first thing you notice from Newcastle approach was the lineup nearby, because Nick Vortamandi almost dropping it because he needed players press Barcelona for Nipa. So now Newcastle went Harvey Barnes, Anthony Gordon, Anthony Elanga. Let's just say these are 3 speedsters on the press Barcelona for no. Behind them, ASR almost 3-man midfield. No master. Oh, I going to Tona Lisandro, Jolinson, and Bruno Gomarash. And see, clearly, now let me tell you something. And again, I go back to the conversation about pressing game, because Famisha say even from minute 4, na yanko shadi. Because clearly, Barcelona 4 no, and again, there was no way a Hans Flick ebese sano. They were going to play the ball from the back. But I mean, try to say Newcastle for idea and say Barcelona for the goalkeeper and a baller. Plan is okay. Oh, goalkeeper wa ball. Until Ronald Royo and Pau Kubasi a big game in. And that's understandable, because so goalkeeper could have baller, you don't come close to them. Total football, one of the rules tells you say goalkeeper footballer, we a defender, center halves for the Mumbai game. And of course they did that. So Ronald Royo, Pau Kubasi, who played as a left center half, Mumbai game anymore. Then Newcastle will put Anthony Gordon on Pau Kubasi, Harvey Barnes on Ronald Royo. No majai goalkeeper. With the ball. Jules Koundé was playing as the right back. Livramento now left back. No, he quickly jumps from his left back position to press Jules Koundé. Now Gerard Martin, let's just say Anthony Elanga afano. Let's just say Newcastle far commits on my left back to the high pressing. So the next question is, then what about the 3 midfielders of Barcelona? Because if Newcastle does that, Frankie de Jong is going to drop deep and take the ball. Pedri is going to drop deep and take the ball. Okay, when Pedri drops deep, Jolinton follows him. If Frankie de Jong drops deep, Bruno Gomes follows him. This is a typical 1v1 man marking. So Newcastle decided to man mark Barcelona for no. And again, the whole idea is to force Barcelona to make mistakes. So Fermin Lopez also tries to help. When Fermin Lopez tries also to drop deep to help in the build-up, Sandro Tonali presses him. And again, listen, if Newcastle had decided to press Juan Garcia in possession, that means that they are going to allow Barcelona to have the +1 advantage. They decided, so no problem. You goalkeeper, take the ball, do whatever you want to do, because at the end of it, those players that you want to locate, we have a player behind that person. You see, Newcastle, that was the whole idea. And again, in the first time, one thing I noticed, because I was listening to the supporters, and some of them were complaining about the fact that Barcelona for no and a ball now no Barcelona for, but please, and sometimes you need to pipe down, because Newcastle no come home, you cannot be playing your normal football. And I love the play of Pedri and Frankie de Jong in the game, because Newcastle for no they set a trap for Barcelona and say, yeah, but high game, intensive game. So the trap was that once Barcelona are in possession, the trap is, okay, let's force Barcelona to also play that intense game. If Barcelona had done that, that would have been an advantage to Newcastle, because that is the style of Newcastle, and Newcastle does that better than Barcelona. So what about that? Are you going to play to suit Newcastle, and I say you are going to play your own way? And that's where the conversation of Pedri and Frankie de Jong comes in, because anytime Barcelona for them, Newcastle high press when these guys get the ball, Pedri, Frankie de Jong, they try to recycle the game. And of course, I know Newcastle supporters because Barcelona were passing the ball around, led by Frankie de Jong and Pedri to Frankie de Jong. Then he goes back to Jules Koundé to Ronald Arroyo, Pau Kubasi, Gerard Martin, Fermin Lopez, Rafinha. So recycle the play. The more you recycle the play, the more touches your players have. The more touches normal one. Newcastle chase the game. Once they start chasing the game, the supporters will be against their whole team. So I felt as especially in the first 30 minutes, it was a gamer. Everyone had a plan, and I'm sure I was saying Newcastle for plan. It's been well explained here. But Barcelona for was okay, and they said, yeah, so no, so the bet me ya no, me more ball now, move by the ball better from name so bobo. So, Frank, let me tell you something. In the first half alone, yeah, I mean, what they be in the first half. First half, Newcastle, accurate passes, just 85. In 45 minutes, just 85 accurate passes. Because any almost style, they don't have time for passing. Or Jibona, he's running. Yanko. Whilst Barcelona were recycling with passes. So Barcelona had 218 successful passes in the first half. When trying for an infantile. Said that was the initial plan, says I don't obey. And see, the whole idea, share the 6 minutes. The conversation I make, my jai goalkeeper, who goalkeeper here the open, and no more bobo, and no more pressy, and no more pressy. Bruno Gomes na odiechire. Now, TC, man, these guys had a wonderful game. It's a true beer. Now Bruno Gomes, any family, any Jolinton, no more swish it. Whoever they want to press, it was good. Okay, let me even take you to Yanko minutes 33. Minutes 33, and let me also show you one or two things. And there may be why you moving on. Okay? Again, what is Barcelona trying to do? They are trying to pass the ball from the back. Newcastle are forcing them to also go back. Again, almost players a man to man. and Barcelona are being forced to move the ball back. But and America say the more touches Pedri and Frankie de Jong enyano, and no na boa Barcelona ntino at some point in time Barcelona for so e push omo kwechire. But whenever Barcelona does that, Newcastle recall it now in a 5-4-1 defensive shape. Then they allow the wings, because the whole idea for Newcastle in their defense is they will not let Barcelona penetrate centrally. So almost blockade the central space. Senebaya Barcelona for no in possession. Born among me more centrally. And don't think I'm complaining about Femi Lopez. So many way this uncommon that say Femi Lopez no say Oshatima team near low blocker and yana style no. Danny almost style. What I say, yes, Newcastle for no did not defend in a low block, but how they defended, because the whole idea was to block Barcelona centrally. Now Barcelona players a central zone no. Omobre, Lewandowski, Femi Lopez, because there were players around them. But in Newcastle for no, what they did was that now Ombe Jai wings one because Lami Yamal in the game, and now I'm just going the opportunity. So onya sa spaces are because Newcastle only cared about the central zone. So no move say omo force Barcelona for core wings wa. Now Barcelona here crosser and foul omo because crosser Barcelona be no. Omo players say wa into Barcelona o de your cross ye be pim, your cross ye be pim. Into Gina omo ju omo di no. And a man just going to quiet cross now. Marcus Rashford a heady ball they share here no. So you hundi into they were. In fact, they allowed Barcelona to be crossing. Now, would you want to have a atiafa so the amount? You don't want you to honestly, because they drew. And Marcus Rashford again. See, Rashford, optimistic Newcastle for too much. Also, so Newcastle for my be on Copa 7 goals against Newcastle. The only team was show Modudu pa a Leicester City. That's 8, and watching Newcastle 7. Inti. On no musi ye no dada or show more time bia. By now Newcastle for no on say proud to this game. Now when Barcelona ball 4 times. Now Barcelona show mu miensa. Newcastle share back. Newcastle share Barcelona was 97-98. Barcelona show mu 1-0 e Camp Nou na ombe lose 3-2 e England. Because 2002-2003 season, Barca Bomo home and away 2-0. It was Newcastle for fear of 3-1. Before this game, it was 3 wins for Barcelona, Newcastle 1. They say Barcelona are in 4 against 1. And then when they say Newcastle for them, Barcelona supporters just 900 per in the Rock Stadium. 900 into hoping the same come the day ebe kum Barcelona for no. Into only 900, but you see Newcastle and Barcelona. Omo similarities kakra and yes say a bunch sadie, and of course the only one is say Bobby Robson or no our statue our stadium one tenekra, for instance some the scarf echo to no Newcastle the Barco Barcelona the Barco, because time no be coachy Barcelona no or the Barcelona the Copa del Rey European Cup Winners' Cup, those days near Cup Winners' Cup 96-97 or the Barcelona GA. And about Newcastle, so obey idea be so mufan so one day we're making history. Our Barcelona, we're making history. Our Newcastle, so let's honor him. And of course, they did that. It's a Kenya problem, yeah. What I say, but the game itself, na alcohol issues be kakra. And the spaces nearby, you know. I am extremely happy for Marcus Rashford because and then. Would see narrations na edrume bi na Barcelona for nedwado, because now it touches a star be, and so many times with him say now he was fumbling kakra, but no problem because of how Barcelona were playing. Now I go happy when he scored the goal. The second goal no cry marvelous, what a goal, man. Says hey boy no wash goal say papa. But wait, I have now make cancer football one. I margins. First 15-20 minutes, what Newcastle did and what Juan Garcia did, that was the game changer. Here, Newcastle nya openings bi anka ball no twat na mu a Kevin game night in the Barcelona. I'm telling you this. Back on the 4th minute, Musa Anthony Gordon Ekwashi Ampangubi, that could have been a goal number 1 for Newcastle. On the 6th minute, Barcelona for play a proper offside trap. We mama mijina say ha because Elanga fa mu kwa koyan ka asem wesi. Because watch this very well. Say pass na koyan radi Yesu have you bounce mo we dey ka asem wesi. What I say? Inti Barcelona for have you bounce strong ko dey ko be she. And almost set say no offside this at some point in time, Juan Garcia, marvelous. Master, say Juan Garcia, no. I am very, very happy for him, honestly. Oyobia, nano na me can say, ope goalkeepers are a nimbo chipa. Okamubi. Omo chibo pa, and him say, goalkeeper wey yes, oh, onimbo chipa. Juan Garcia, onim sadi enibiye. And again, Espanyol a team one. Omo attacking bebre they are defending in a low block into debiano short bar almost into lots of saves, but now all about Barcelona the problem no na enye saves obey the problem is that he needed to understand how Barcelona plays no about a ball playing goalkeeper, because in terms of saves today we all know he does that very well. What surprises me is how he has adapted to how Barcelona plays. As he say, oh sweepy born well. In Tanya say, and then oh save Barcelona on that occasion, because if the ball had entered the net, Kasem Wesi, Uniboche pa. Inti again, Senan Kobetimi. At the performance or Espanyol, no about a big club like Barcelona, no obetinya yes hadia no na or buy or bear or league mu. People kept on questioning, say, okay, why you league mu dear, obetinya bear our Champions League in one. Young ko baby, I agree. But then why are there? Why are there papa? Means a man for Bonabaso. Honestly, football, they be America margins plays a huge part of the game, because maybe say once and attention akodi makush RASHFORD so you better place ne Gina Park no so, but the reality is that save man and they about game we in Barcelona and 64% possession and Newcastle 36%. Barcelona ball shot 19, 5 of them and on targets and 2 a goal. And of course, Newcastle bought 10 shots, 6 not a on target. And see, that's what it is. Newcastle for last minutes and Anthony Gordon and so Etse Kadema Newcastle. But I'm saying interviews Nigus where Cosumere Niamani Befrafra. But honestly, now me say monitor the Manchester City and Napoli game, you know. Now and then Di Lorenzo before the game or your interview can say Omomunim Haaland. It sounds like Kevin De Bruyne. I can't name the Achoma about Erling Haaland. Only for Di Lorenzo on the 21st minute. Wakocha Haaland ama na a red card. Nti nimna unimno na a red card than unimno na. But sad decisions we say yeah, but where did they? Nti almost show no red card no. Na Antonio Conte any option bia, because red card ne buy no Politano kojina right back, or because the way the Manchester City for attack no, he needed to make substitutions. And I was Napoli for midfield na Loboska, Kevin De Bruyne, McTominay, Anguissa. So probably yine free, because when the red card 21st minute, now be here energy there. And the next say Kevin De Bruyne, because and then Kevin De Bruyne ever game in the Manchester City for just yo there was somebody yamani you know my dear man only for Kevin De Bruyne 25th minute was a coach in the uniform. Hey ya pass Obi game pa. So they took him out. Manchester City for first half. When show 10 against 11 win to only for we to come back. Feel for the pass if you are the man Haaland didn't bobo it was a wonderful pass. Say for the number 10 one. He's gradually gaining grounds or building the mojo confidence. Now start say eba and Jeremy Doku is also playing well and they go no stand so fair. Because on like I said the J ball no say with the ball be ko pushy ball no ediko ya or ko place ball no they say excellent goals so far. Inti, and one the more Manchester City for we they have a game against Arsenal with Emirates, and no any game can see a pano. And no so amount for a shady we pa. But then Club Brugge as a 4 Monaco Asheba, Radi Monaco, and now so far Abogo, but Club Brugge a bomb, yay, ye penny. Copenhagen, Liverpool game no a 2-2, and the Frankfurt for passing we see Galatasaray for no 5-1. Galatasaray was the first goal. Go for not to tell you 5-1. Ajay Farmer, we are come Man City Napoli 2-0 in favor of Manchester City. Barcelona echo we need 2-1 on Newcastle. Sports Lisbon and so Eshe Kairato for the HSA Champions League, you know. Yeah, the first round of games, and of course, first round of games, you know. Yabo Bobo Bonini and Yafini Bebo table. Now, I mean, first round of games, they are not. No lie. What's I say? But the most important thing is say Yabono, you born man Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So we are done. It's the journal. On to the next video. We say interviews no good work also. Me Bob Bonini na no na next video. Maba na mabe chichi mu edi achro. Nyakopon. On shall non can who be brave. We are coming back